Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. We are the Yes and No of Wrestling Podcast, the Yeet and No Yeet of Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Joe. My co-host, as always, Darnell.
Cold as shit in here.
Cold as shit. I mean, well, you got to. It's Florida. That's the only way Floridians live, with a cold as shit apartment or house. Otherwise, you're above the age of 60.
That's really true.
Yep. That's Florida truth right there. We are coming off of Backlash and the week buildup of Backlash. Today is Sunday, the day before the Monday after Backlash. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the buildup from Monday. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw show. In my opinion, the best part of all of Monday, the segment between Logan, Jay, and Finn and JD. Hilarious. First of all, Logan throwing out his own old references. Little brother Jay, aka Jakey, trying to roast me? Yeah, yeet. And at that same moment, I think Jay in his eyes, you can see he's like, damn, I might have to use a different phrase. Not because of, he's like, this shit, he just made it suck so bad when he said it. You're like, God.
Yeah, that's just simply never happening.
Yeah.
Nobody even remembers that song from to begin with. So him bringing it up was just like,
yeah.
Okay, buddy.
I think he really thought it was going to be like a big roast bar when everybody was just like, oh yeah, I guess I remember that.
And all you YouTubers thought you could rap.
Yep. When they were all getting into rap beefs, on YouTube. Ugh. And then it changed to boxing beefs, and then that's kind of where it's at right now still. Yeah, the entire thing where he gets the rings from Patrick Mahomes, then he punches JD McDonough in his big ass forehead. They're really, the entire Raw roster is really dragging on that big ass forehead on JD McDonough. It's so mean. JD gets an immediate big bump on his head, and then of course we get this amazing camera span to Finn, who's amazing at selling. Finn's top 5 unserious dudes in all of WWE is Finn Balor. And then he cuts to, Logan looking like he fucked up, and then Jay just coming into camera. Damn! You did that. That's your boy right there. Finn having to realize, wait a minute, you're not on the judgment. Get out of here.
I swear, that's like the only thing I fucking remember from Monday. Other than that, I don't remember shit.
Monday was, looking through it, was an okay show. Otherwise, I was going to say, because the thing is that you had 3 big things happen, right? So you have the segment between Jay and Logan and Judgment Day. Then you got the Nia, Liv Morgan, Becky thing, which really turned into nothing. Really, like it gave. I think Liv had a match with her later that night, I believe, or I'm not too sure.
She won.
Oh yeah. She won that match. So like it's set up for that, but it really didn't set up for too much else. It was a decent. I mean, it's nice to see Nia right now, I guess, because Nia's having a resurgence right now, currently, in my opinion, and her doing the whole "I'm leaving Raw" and everybody being excited about it it was a good segment. Every time I see her now, I don't hate seeing her now. So she would be part of one of the bigger parts of the night, in my opinion. You got the Sami Zayn and Perk Gable build up continuing. Perk Gable sets up a completely unnecessary, full-blown, might as well call it a squash match of a tag team title match with R-Truth. We get 1 now and 2 later. It's like a now and later. You get it? Like the candy. And that is what Truth said. So then they get the tag match. They obviously lose. We're like, are we about to lose the tag team titles to Tozawa and Otis? No. So then what happens? Right afterwards, Sammy gets his lick back, gets a haluva kick right on Chad. Chad goes down. Then, of course, later on in the night, Sammy's got a match with Bronson Reed. He interferes and beats the fuck out of Sammy again. Beats the bricks off of him yet again. So, I mean, those were some of the bigger.
Sammy deserves everything that's happening to him.
100%. Every time Perk Gable tweets about it, I'm like, you don't have to convince anybody, guy. We're on your side. We're with you. He asked for it. He was asking for it. And then the other 2 things that would have been really big, which would have been the CM Punk Drew McIntyre segment, which is that was very funny. I'm up here, bitch.
And then he spends fucking 20 minutes getting all the way up to that top suite just for Punk to be coming out to his music.
So
and
funny.
He has front row seats to seeing him cut a promo with his back to him.
So good. I brought it up last night when we were watching Backlash, or yesterday when we were watching Backlash. He gets on the commentary team and he doesn't quite know how to act or what to say. But you give a mic in his hand and put him in the middle of the ring, and he's like, I'm literally Leonardo in this bitch. I'm literally the best artist of all time in here. I'm literally the greatest of all time.
I wonder when he's gonna actually be medically cleared, because he came out with he didn't have the brace on. So it's just like, I guess soon-ish. I mean, he's definitely going to be in title contention because he's just going to be feuding with CM Punk.
And two things came up with that, like, muscle shirt, too. Like, one, just bringing back the muscle shirt. Two, man's been working out. He's looking good right now. You could tell that's I guarantee you put a picture from him going into the Royal Rumble and the picture of him with that muscle shirt, you'd be like, yeah, there's clear different definition in his muscles now.
He ain't got a choice.
Yeah. Well, especially
either that or eat burgers after burgers. after burgers.
It's, I mean, especially going against Drew. Drew's really hitting him it sounds weird, and I've heard, this isn't like a giant consensus thing, but I have heard these complaints through a grapevine of people being like, man, it's just really reminiscent of like Vince with the big muscle dudes. And I'm like, you still need the muscle dudes. You need the meathead, big 6-pack, 8-pack guys. You still need them. And they're good for this. They're good for being like using it as heel work, you know, and insulting a guy because he can never lift as much as him, because it works to make us hate him. We're like, we don't care that you lift, but at the same time, pretty goddamn impressive.
Who are we talking about?
Drew, when he would be making fun of wait, what do you mean by who are we talking about? Sorry. Like,
I didn't know who you were talking about, because when you said you need like the big muscly dudes, I was just like, oh yeah, Braun Strowman came back. So
Braun Strowman did come back. That was the other man. See, I keep missing every time we talk more and more about Raw. Then we're like, oh yeah, that also did happen. But no, it's more specifically like I guess you can consider Drew like a big muscly dude. It's not even. I guess he
now,
is
compared to what he was when he first came to WWE. He was scrawny as fuck.
Exactly.
Little string big motherfucker. Then he went to TNA and pumped iron, and then I was like, oh shit.
So it's like,
he's big now.
You need those guys still, is what I'm saying. So that way, like, scarcely, because yes, WCW, WWF, it was all a bunch of dudes like this, fucking pumping iron.
Everyone's on roids. Ain't no pumping iron. Everybody's on roids.
Yes, 100%. So it's like, you know, nowadays it's a little bit better because, you know, we have videos of Drew McIntyre fucking pumping iron in the gym. So it's like when a guy is bragging about it in the right way, works really well for certain heel and sometimes even babyface work. Yeah, Drew McIntyre yet again gets roasted, but that's what's great about their story is each week it's like a take turns kind of thing, like who's gonna get the upper hand this time. I'm hoping, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when CM Punk could be medically cleared, because you would hope before Clash at the Castle, so that way him and Drew can do it at Clash at the Castle. But I don't think they're gonna have CM Punk lose his first PLE. So, I mean, if they did, that would show extreme change in CM Punk if he took an L on his first PLE back. But otherwise, I don't know. Probably SummerSlam.
Him getting hurt fucks everything up.
Everything up. And now when he's back, we're going to be sitting there watching. I'm going to be sitting there watching carefully, being like, he cannot kayfabe sell any injuries. He's not allowed to, because then we're going to be like, no, now you're going to be gone for another 6 months or something like that. He can't kayfabe sell anymore. No more. The tag team match between Tozawa and Otis and the Awesome Truth was good for what it was. Shouts out. You know, it's exactly what we wanted it. I was going to kind of complain. I was in my head, I was complaining earlier this morning, like, man, we didn't even get a tag team match at Backlash. We got it on each show prior to. And I'm like, but that's exactly kind of what we've been asking for, is being able to see tag team, you know, title matches on air. But the thing with that is it'll eventually, I'm assuming, change. But, you know, synonymously in WWE, if there's a title fight on TV, very like 95% chance it's not going to change hands. So, and if it is, it's kind. We usually know, like it's pretty obvious. Like it's like putting like Brian Kendrick against John Cena for the WWE title, and Brian Kendrick has the WWE title for some reason. We'd be like, oh well, John Cena. It's like when Rey Mysterio went against John Cena for the title on like Friday. I think it was like Monday Night Raw, and everybody was like, well, John's gonna win the title, obviously. Yeah, but otherwise, if it was like, you know, the reverse, we'd be like, well, they're just gonna retain, and you're just giving us a title match for no reason. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about on Raw, which was that as it's building up more to Backlash too, Judgment Day slowly starting to fall apart. All with Damian being this like I can hear they're saying it more on Backlash now. It's focal pointing around I can do this myself, and I think it's more of him just realizing I really don't need any of these fucking guys. Like this whole thing is pointless what we do, and it's true without Rhea there to like kind of keep them all together. Damian's like, I don't know why we're a team. I really don't. If I'm not tag team champions with this fucking guy, and I don't like these other dudes, I like Dom a little bit, but I don't like the other one. Why are we here? And it's showing more little dissension in the rank. They try to jump Jay. Damian's like, I ain't having it. Don't do it. And it kind of ends like that for Monday Night Raw.
Oh, I honestly thought you were talking about Backlash. That's exactly what happened at Backlash.
It's the same thing, yeah. Just with a little bit, it was just an increase in dissension at that point, or a decrease, if you would. The NXT episode was dog wash horseshit yet again. Ridge Holland yet again gets a win. They keep pushing him with the Sean Spears story. Fucking boo. You know, Lola Vice and Natalia have the underground fight. I just wished I thought they had already gone away from it. Clearly not fully, but it was still in Vince era when Ronda and Shayna had the MMA match. I'm like, okay, that was still Vince time. Maybe we're done with it. I haven't seen anything since. And now, boom.
I mean, the Ronda and Shayna one is more believable just because they both actually fucking fought.
Yeah.
In real life and not just some wrestling bullshit.
Correct. Yeah.
Versus Lola and Natalia were like, Lola had like, I think she had like maybe 6 or 7 wins in Bellator before she just said, all right, I'm going to wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of make sense, but
Natalia. And
like, what are you doing, man?
And I get it. They're going off of this. I believe I'm remembering this correct, but they're saying like back in the day, the what was it? The Heart Foundation, the dungeon, and they would just beat dudes up in there. They would say, and you would actually fight down there. And I'm like, well, Natalia, let me tell you something. I guarantee you weren't in that fucking dungeon. And if you were, I can guarantee you those fights were nothing like an actual MMA fight. I can guarantee you that. I'm gonna get a lot of heat for that one. You don't know shit about the fucking dungeon, bro. You weren't down there.
Yeah, I don't see why people take a lot of things serious.
Dude, people talk to him. That's like telling telling an old head that the dungeon's fucking dumb is like telling like a wrestler from WCW that wrestling's fake. They'll try and hit you. They'll come at you.
Tell you every time wrestling's fake.
Dude, I love those stories of like it's such like I don't know. I guess it's just nostalgic for them or whatever. But when they like when Ric Flair and all those guys tell these stories of these old wrestlers who are dead now, they'll be like, yeah, I mean, we would go to bars and just get turned up, and then a guy would be like, he would turn to him and be like, "You're a wrestler, and that shit's fake, right?" And he would just turn to him and uncork on him, and he would beat him to a bloody pulp, and then they would think it's awesome. I'm like, why do you think that's awesome? You just had a guy who was on steroids and on cocaine beating the fuck out of other dudes out of a bar because they said what he does is fake, because it is fake.
Only thing real are the bumps.
The bumps. That's it. And there's nobody here who in this vicinity of listening that respects wrestling more than we do. And the bottom line is I'll tell anybody, I'm like, that bump hurts. That bump hurts. That bump hurts. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of it that don't. And you're practicing for it anyway. You're training to do those things. It's still fake at the end of the day. We just live in suspended belief. But if I was at a bar and some guy told me it was fake, I'm not going to uncork on him for it. Fucking, you know what I would do is I would ironically start getting like upset. I'd be like, you don't tell me that Damian Priest cashing in is fake, motherfucker. You don't tell me that. You don't tell me that Cody Rhodes' story is fake. Like, but then I'd be like, no, but for real though, it's a little fake. It's a little fake.
The only real part about Cody's story was just him struggling.
Yeah, for sure. Not gonna blame Cody for.
This is the stuff of wrestling I try not to think about a lot.
The serious part where people take it too serious.
Nah, just like as a whole, I'm just like, okay, whatever. A lot of it's just written.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is some like realness in the story most of the time,
mm-hmm.
but it's just still like, all right, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Once I start looking at it for what it is, then I just stop giving a shit.
Yeah, I dive. You know what takes me out of is trolls a lot, but I dive in. I dive all the way in. I get into the story, makes it better to follow. But some of them, yeah, it's best to just pull back a little bit, I guess. Yeah, NXT. I was saying out loud as I was watching it, I was like, yet again, not a very good episode. Trick Williams has a awkward. It looks like they're just having fun. Him and Lash Legend, they're just having. But that was an awkward segment together, and then. You know, this whole thing with she's got info that's gonna ruin Trick Williams, and I'm like, what is this? And I like the crowd chanting Trick's a daddy, and I'm like, that's so fucking funny. If she was really pregnant, she was like holding on to it to be like, you motherfucker. But I'm like, I don't know what this is gonna be. It is weird though. It is awkward.
Yeah, because it wouldn't really make any sense to be like, oh hey, I'm pregnant, because then it's just like, okay, what does that have to do with me wrestling?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't quite get it. I think they were starting to set up for his next opponent. I don't think they did. I really don't think they did.
No, it's probably gonna be that head dude and whatever that group is that she's in. That's probably gonna be the first title defense for damn near no reason. There's no real story between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's his name? Ilya's gone. What's his name? The other nigga, Carmelo's gone.
Yeah, they could.
They got the Don.
Yeah, I was gonna say they could probably set up for him.
Dijak's gone.
Yeah, yeah. All his best contenders are gone. Shit.
Like everybody got called up.
Yeah, the Don does do good stories though, so that would be a good filler, and that would take a couple weeks to honestly do. You know, a bunch of vignettes of him getting taken to the restaurant and. You know, Trick. I think that'd be good. It wouldn't be like the best story in the world, but for the time being, it'd be fine.
Not much else to do.
No, not much else to do. Just like on NXT, not much else to do. That we're still waiting for the. I think next week is the females North American. So next couple days, like they start the tournament for it, I believe, and then.
No.
Yeah, otherwise NXT's a wash right now. Yeah, and like a lot of the big talents gone. And Joe Gacy might be gone. If they do the Wyatt 6, Joe Gacy's going too. So, they're not even going to have his ass on there. It's just going to be Sean Spears.
Dijak's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's all he was doing for the most part.
Yeah, it's going to be Sean Spears and Ridge Holland running the show. Fucking no. Baron Corbin's gone. Fucking Braun Breaker's gone. Fucking... Y'all lost everybody.
They got tag team stuff going on.
Yeah, they got Axiom still, and they got y'all got AOP. Congratulations. But they did just get what's his name? They got Wes William back. He's back, and then yeah, I think that was it. That's like they're so probably Wes Williams going for, but he wants the North American title though. So.
Yeah, and he ain't beating over.
Yeah. I don't know if you were in chat when we at this point when we were watching, or if I was saying it to Reese or who I was saying it to, but I was saying out loud, I was like, it's funny. Yeah, it was right before you came in there because I was just telling Ian about that North American title, and I go, it's funny because he was watching him and Viking Raider Ivar talk shit, and I was like, what's funny, Ian, is that before this, the North American title was held by a bunch of small dudes. I was like, it was Dom, Dragon Lee, some guy named Wesley. I was like, Carmelo Hayes had it for a little while. I was like, A bunch of small little dudes. And then this guy Oba came in and fucking took it from Dragon Lee. And now all these little dudes are like I feel like Wesley comes back and he's like, what the who the fuck is this fucking guy? And this is the guy that's contending? Ivar? Fucking A. Yeah, you would have thought before it was supposed to be a little guy's title, and all of a sudden, Oba and Ivar are fighting for it. And that would literally sum up like all of that was like great on NXT. Meh show, meh. I give it meh. Leading into SmackDown, just trying to get through all this because we got to talk about Backlash. Leading into SmackDown, also a decent build-up show, but you know, how do I say this? The thing between AJ and Cody was weird again, but I did like the segment. I thought it was funny, and I do like I like the constant thing with the was the Bullet Club. Love it. I don't know a lot about the Bullet Club. You know, I know it was their thing in New Japan. Now I want to look it all up.
It's messy and full of backstabbing.
Hell yeah.
Because Finn, Tama, I forgot the other two. But like they all like Finn won, I think he won the belt, and then they jumped one of the dudes they were celebrating with. And then that's where Finn's whole thing with the guns pointing at people. That's where that started for the Bullet Club.
Okay.
And then eventually Finn got jumped out of Bullet Club.
God damn
I think that was him coming to NXT after that. But he got jumped out of Bullet Club, and then somebody else took over. And it's literally just a long line of you're getting jumped out, and more people are joining. Like Meacham, I think she's supposed to be like the only female member.
Oh.
But I think there is somebody else there. I don't know about now because Tonga was the last OG member in New Japan in Bullet Club, and now he's over at WWE.
Yeah.
And now a lot of the fucking Bullet Club members are split into WWE or they're in AEW. That's why they have Bullet Club Gold, because I think Jay White was the last leader before he moved to AEW.
This sounds incredible. I need to find a YouTube video talking about all of it. Stat. I just wanted to bring up one more because you brought up Michin. That was another cool part about the NXT female North American Championship tournament. Does look like it's going to be dope because it's got Sol Ruka in it. It's got Jada Parker in it. I believe Ariana, what's her name? I was going to call her Grande, but it's Grace, I think. I don't remember. I think Gigi's in it. And then, of course, Michin comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, yo, fuck yeah, Michin and NXT, let's go.
It's kind of fucked that they call these people up to the main roster and then do nothing with them, and then they're just like, no, let's go back to NXT. We'll
figure it all out. And for her, that was an unfortunate thing because the female division was too big. It's too hot. We're like, has like too much star power and nowhere for her to fit in because she was just with a group the whole time. And now they're like, NXT will work. That's fine. Which I hope they don't group her up with, because the boys are down there anyway. Fucking, was it the OC? They're down there anyway. And I hope they don't put her with them. We'll see this Tuesday. Because if they come out with her, I'm going to be like, well, it's fucked. But yeah, going back to SmackDown. Yeah, the AJ and Cody segment also gold again, and I'm gonna get to that rant in a second here because I'll bring them back up again right before we move on to Backlash. Yeah, the AOP fucking just fucking just do damage again. Congratulations. I brought up that Karrion Kross, and then all do need to go down to NXT. I think they'll fucking do great on NXT, and they've already figured it out with Karrion Kross. Shirtless Karrion Kross is the way. That's just the way to go. It's just what makes the group look cool. We got to go with it. He's shirtless everywhere now. Done. I'm telling you, when I see him with those muscle shirts, the tank tops, I'm like, who is this fucking guy? But when he's shirtless, he's all like flexing in the camera and I'm like, this guy's for real. He goes everywhere with no shirt. This guy's crazy.
It's crazy because they all did good at NXT, but it was during COVID.
Right. Yes. So I don't know. I guess good in NXT by what standards? By ratings, I guess. I don't know.
I would say like just probably just based off of like the runs they had, but nobody was paying attention because there was no crowd. There wasn't really shit to like that whole time period of wrestling was just fucking weird because first it was like just basically an empty warehouse. Then they eventually figured out, oh, we can put screens here and then the fans can still watch and it's like a crowd. And it's just like that shit looked weird, bro.
Yeah, it did.
That's why Drew the whole thing, and he's just like, I fucking carried this shit basically on my back the entire time, and now that we're back in the live audience, I'm chopped liver.
Yeah, which is crazy because the fans love them. Oh yeah, about them too is like with the crowd presence is like, I mean, it is unfortunate. This is a big point to make because anybody can be like, well, it's just the crowd, but to be honest with you, if you're not making this crowd pop, then I don't know what's going on with your story. Again, I'm not going against them. They're going to NXT anyway, so they're going to hopefully figure it out down there. And the crowd will probably give them a little bit more respect and like them a little bit more down in NXT. But I didn't realize it until Amy pointed it out. They were the AOP were the only people in the Final Testament. They were the only people that France did not cheer for at all on Friday night. It was completely quiet the whole time. Like when you know they were wrestling because they're fighting the New Catch Republic, they were chanting and stuff. But when they won, when they were walking out the whole time, they showed clips, and I'm like, oh wow, nobody's saying anything. It's just a quiet crowd, which seems impossible for France being the loudest crowd in WWE history, and somehow Final Testament silenced them. Not good.
Yeah, just to show that y'all really don't do anything different than any other big dudes.
Yeah,
so, whatever.
For real. And
it's probably a place they can't really pump the noise in either.
Yeah, so, true.
So everyone shut the fuck up, and they were just like, "All right, next."
And that guy, the old guy that's with them, that is clearly supposed to be the enhancement manager, like he gets on the mic and he's ass. I'm like, who is this fucking guy? Serves no, I hear he's a legend. I don't care. He serves no purpose in the group. He gets on the mic and just says, "The authors of pain are here to fucking deal damage," and you're like, okay, nobody. And then he gets off the mic super quick. He gets off the mic almost immediately and always gives it to Karrion Kross anyway. And I'm like, and this new thing that the guys are doing, Author of Pain, where they're licking their teeth and lips a lot and screaming into the camera. Not a fan. They're genuine. You can see it. They're trying so hard to make something happen. And I'm like, guys, just stop trying so hard.
It's like when Roman was in the Shield. It's like, dude, no, we take the other two. Yeah, they're cool, but you shut up. And the big muscly dumbass.
Double triple super power bomb. Ugh. Man, you're full of suckering.
That shit was funny. That like, he was trying to be funny there. He had to have been.
Yeah, seriously. So let's see. Yeah, LA Knight has a just random put over match against Angel. I think that's Angel, right? Yeah, that's Angel. Yet again, LA Knight just still trying to get over with the fucking this thing. I mean, if you're not telling us the significance, if the crowd's not getting behind it, drop it. Fucking drop it. It looks silly. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. And that would be my main gripe. Otherwise, it's just a normal outing for LA Knight. Huge pop, LA Knight. In my opinion, also, I normally don't ever have any gripes with this man, but really, he has to figure it out with everybody saying. He's got to figure that shit out. Cause it's like, he says it like twice in a row sometimes. He'll be like, and you'll know that everybody's saying, with everybody saying, and I'm like, all right, well, and he does that quite often, I've noticed. And I'm like, just say something else. And you'll hear the crowd chanting, and you'll see the crowd is loud as fuck with everybody saying. I'm like, there's a lot of different ways you can set that up. And he'll double it up sometimes. I'm like, bro, it's good. Better than what I could do, but I'm just saying. Before we talk about the off-air moment, or what took us off-air on SmackDown, 2 tag team matches, which were great, but kind of didn't really need to happen. One, the Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus who'd they go up against? Didn't they go up against Kabuki Warriors anyway? Or who'd they go up against? Oh no, they went up against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. That's right. That was a good match. Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, some of the best enhancement female wrestlers of all time. Always good sells, always good matches with bitches, and they usually just lose to put over the other team, usually. But they're great about it. They're great. And the Street Profits, I don't know how many times we're going to get like extremely hyped up moments where the Street Profits are supposed to win a tag team match and then they end up not winning.
I mean, in this case, they're not going to get the belts yet because they just gave them to those two fuckheads.
Yeah.
And they're so hateable that you kind of have to keep them as champs.
Yep, for sure.
It's fucking horrible.
They're doing great at being hated.
They're shit. They're both shit. I don't like either one of them. They both need to go back to where they came from. And just disappear forever, bro. Shut the fuck up.
I agree. The spot, though, like right after they won the match and then they stand up on that ledge right there, I'm like, you know what I hate about that is, one of them was like, what'd be cool is if we stood right there and you guys took the shot with us with the titles. And somebody on the production team was like, wow, that's great. These guys are great. I'm like, fuck, because it was a cool shot. I'm like, that is a cool spot to do that. I don't think anybody's ever really done that. That's cool. But it had to be these fucks. The show goes off the air with the RKO segment, the RKO show. I was saying to you when we were talking the other day, I was like, I didn't think they were going to be that lazy with the name, but fuck it.
Really lazy. It just works. Just like RK Bro did.
Yeah, just kind of writes itself. Just kind of works that way. I do agree that if it would go anywhere outside that realm, then it would just be like trying too hard to think of something clever. Also, clearly they're not going to be a tag team forever, so just kind of give it something to go with. Already have the merch out for it. Looks cool as fuck. But yeah, the show was simply just to set up the brawl between them, which was hilarious. Paul Heyman coming out. Very funny segment between all of them. Randy Orton's got limited mic skills, I've learned. He is extremely limited. He only knows how to set people up for the RKO thing, and he knows how to talk about RKOs, and that's it. I think they've learned that since he's been back. I was like, He had a great mic segment with Rhea. That was funny. But then he kept using the daddies thing constantly through like those next few weeks. And then ever since then, anytime he's on the mic, he's like, and don't forget, we're talking about the most 3 dangerous letters in wrestling. He does it backstage. He does it in the ring. That's all he can do. And I'm like, it's fine. That's fine. But that's how I knew this wasn't going to go very far in this segment. It was just going to set up for this brawl. And that's how we went off air with a crazy.
It's like putting a young Roman with John Cena and somebody else who's good on the mic again. It's not gonna, just know your place.
Yeah.
Because he was in there with Paul and fucking Kevin. It's like, don't say anything.
Right. Yeah.
Just let them talk. It'll be okay.
Seriously.
I'm here with my shirt off and my trunks looking nice. The bitches love me. I go home to my hot wife. That's it.
That's it. And it's like with him, that's where he does fit in perfect. I think they are gonna have to start realizing that. I'm not gonna say that Randy can't have a title run. I don't think he should. I don't think he should have a singles title run. I think if anything, the biggest program I want to see him do is him versus Cody. But otherwise, tag team it up, man, because all you have to do, he's already said it. Most fun he ever had doing WWE was when he was with Matt Riddle. When he was with Riddle doing RK Bro, he said he just show up, hit a couple RKOs, just kind of chime into whatever Matt Riddle was saying, and that was it. And I'm like, that's all you got to do with Kevin Owens. Show up, hit some RKOs, calm Kevin Owens down, and then hype him up sometimes, and that's it. That's the end. Easy money. Setting up perfectly another brawl to just literally go off the air with the brawl is a smart idea. I like that. Sets up to and then they start Backlash with them being like another brawl, and we're doing a street fight right off the rip. Let's go. That was smart. Before we talk about Backlash, I said that I need to rant about something. I need to talk about something that people are talking about in the social medias, and I'm not.
Someone showed the numbers, and they're kind of not lying.
No. No. Let me talk about something. So there's been something going
around.
Let
me talk to you.
Let me talk. You see, I'm so angry. I can't even think to say those funny things before I start. I'm like, I'm so heated up. I am heated up. And let me tell you fucking why. Because there's a lot of people right now talking about there's no big time direction for Cody Rhodes until The Rock returns. So that's just people saying some dumb shit. That's just people saying dumb shit because define big time. Define big time for you. If big time means The Rock, then sure. There's nothing slated big time for Cody until The Rock comes back. Because to you and to a majority of random fucking losers, that's big time for them. When Roman's around, when The Rock's around. And that's fine that you think that. But to say that there's no big time, that's like saying any of the PLEs that Cody's indefinitely for sure going to do have no big time implications behind them. And I'm like, so what? Why? Because you know he's going to win? You knew fucking Roman was going to fucking win. Roman was winning every time and you knew that. You just went in there hoping, please let him lose. But now the guy you want to win is going to go in there and win. And let that ride until eventually it pisses everybody off and then let him turn heel. Let it happen naturally. Pissed off, oh, he has no big time plans. Acting like if Roman didn't win the fucking title, you wouldn't be sitting here waiting for fucking months for him to show up with that title and finally go, acknowledge me, and then say he's gonna wrestle, for them to say he's gonna wrestle at some PLE in the middle of the fucking year. Acting like none of that wouldn't happen right now. If Roman was still the champ and they were still going with Roman shit, you wouldn't see him or The Rock, just like you're not seeing him or The Rock until when they come back regularly. So your champion that you're comparing him to, you still wouldn't have any big time plans. So I don't even fucking care about them saying he has no big. Again, define big time plans to you. So you're telling me if that him and LA Knight end up having a match by SummerSlam or something like that, that's not big time plans? That's a big time match. It's a big time plan. That's a big time thing to do. So what's big time to you? Nothing. These people are just saying that because they want to shit on Cody, because they want to troll, because they think that they fucking know that without The Rock, we have nothing. I'm like, dude, we're doing fucking fine. Seth's going to be back in a few months. We can do him and Seth again for no fucking reason. Who cares? And I think that's big time. Those are all big time things. This whole big time word that they're putting in quotations pisses me off because it means nothing. It's some phrase that they're using, that some asshole's using to shit on Cody. It makes no sense, and all you can do to make it make sense is compare him to the champions that would be around right now, which wouldn't even be around. The whole thing is stupid. It makes no sense, and at this point, I really can't even acknowledge other fucking people's talk about this because it gets me riled up for no reason because it's just a bunch of trolls. At this point, now I can enjoy the product. I can enjoy what's happening, so I will. But I can't help but to see that, and I had to talk about it, that to say these things, I'm like, it's literally just a bunch of Cody haters, and that's it. It's just Cody haters.
To that, I say, since that's all they are, you really shouldn't give a shit at all.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But it was funny that you brought that up, and then maybe a couple hours later, that same day, I saw someone post Cody segments since he's won the belt, the numbers on YouTube. I think one of them was before he won the belt, and the video might have 1 million something views on it. This could all still just be from timing.
Yeah.
But then any of the other the stuff that he has, the segments he's had when he's had the belt so far, the videos are only hitting 300-400K, 500K versus that 1 million one, and it's just I see what you did there.
Right.
But it's maybe they're onto something. Maybe the segment, because a little bit to me, from how I can see from their point of view, is, hey, we want a fucking fighting champion, and all you've been doing is talking.
Right.
At least Damian's defended the belt 2 or 3 times before Backlash, and then Cody only had the one match with Carmella, and then that didn't give a good, and that wasn't a good enough setup for him and AJ, really.
Yeah.
Because it went from him getting the belt, him going on kind of a press tour, and then them having the tournament to see who's going to fight him first. And then I gave them only 2 weeks to do build up for him and AJ. And it's they have history. Don't be scared of it. And obviously they aren't scared of it now because even Big E mentioned New Japan.
Right. That was crazy.
Yeah. And then CM Punk, he's just whoa, you can't say that. And then people in the comment section, some of the videos are he's still having PTSD from Vince.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
for
that
sure.
is.
Yeah.
And that's all it really is for a lot of people, more than likely, is we can bring up remember Royal Rumble? We had the TNA Women's Champion come in.
Yeah.
That's a whole other organization's champ came in and was just like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna beat y'all asses," and then leave.
I'm going back. And well, they, Michael Cole and Corey, they extensively talked about New Japan when they were both in the ring when Cody and AJ were wrestling. So I was like, oh, we're going full in. They're just talking about it now.
Yeah, I was asleep for like half that match. When I said, "All right, I'm out," I literally had woke up because I think I heard cheering, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So
Cody won. Right, whatever. Yeah, to the segments and everything, I'm like, yeah. Well, also, like you're saying, it could be a timing thing. It most definitely is has a big percentage to do with timing because yeah, those are all the build up to WrestleMania. When even it's like people who watch the NBA playoffs or the NFL playoffs. Yeah, your viewings are much higher than normal because it's the bigger time. So now it's post, so a lot of people tune out. We can't expect every person to be as diehard as the other 600K that are watching that video. And yeah, that's just what happens. So yeah, I think again, like you said, it's the haters. And I realized after I got boiled up, I was telling Reese about it. I was like, I got caught. I mean, they're making my blood boil, babe. They're doing it on purpose. I could see it in the comments. It's just because you can see it too in the comments. There's a bunch of people being like, fake champion, bad. I told y'all were wrong. And I'm like, shut up. We told you guys you needed The Rock. And I'm like, you know what you're saying. And I'm like
all you got to do is this.
just leave.
Just walk away.
I did. I made 2 posts on Twitter. I did.
Oh wait, you see this? You see it's on? Yeah. It's on?
Now it's off. I'm learning.
No more anger.
Yeah.
No more high blood pressure.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. Because like, here's the thing. I also am in my own head a lot. And so I try not to be Hippocratic in my own head. And it's like, because everybody, like when The Rock was doing their thing, everybody was like, just enjoy the product. And I'm like, I physically can't because at the time you were still possibly talking about taking a championship away and literally breaking a rule that's been in the WWE for decades of the Royal Rumble winner facing the champion. I was like, I physically cannot enjoy the product because I am worried that you guys are and it wasn't towards the end that I could start enjoying it once we had everything solidified and then we were just building to that. So like right now, I'm like, I can enjoy the product because everything's where it should be. It's not about Cody being champion specifically. If Cody lost his title in the next few months, it would suck, but like I wouldn't be like the product's bad now. The product would be bad if you just blatantly are just shitting on fans. That's when the product's bad. When you're blatantly looking fans in the eyes like Vince would do, come out on Monday Night Raw and be like, guys, we've heard your complaints and we make the show cater to you. So for the next 30 minutes, here's dudes dancing. As long as that's not happening, the product's fine. But it's when something blatantly is like The Rock coming out and pretending like he's not getting booed and pretending like everybody doesn't hate what's happening. That's when I'm like, I can't enjoy the product. So yeah, I've learned to stop getting into that now. But yeah, that was if enough people are making the point, I'm like, I gotta say something, especially if they're not fully right about that. That's not fully right. And then
you ain't gotta say nothing.
No, and then people making the comparison. Yeah, well, for what we do, I kind of have to acknowledge at least a little bit of it to have something to talk about sometimes.
No, you can be ignorant about it and just say, they're a bunch of cunts.
They are a bunch of cunts.
Leave it at that.
100%.
Leave it at that.
Just like
they can just be over there doing their thing.
Well, just like the bunch of cunts who were trying to fucking compare him and Swerve, and I'm like, who cares? Why are you guys? Again, why does everybody always have to do that for AEW? I don't understand it. I don't.
Oh, that was a meme.
Oh, they're just
because Cody. Yeah, they were like, oh, we have so many black champions, and then there's Cody there, and you're like, why is Cody there?
Yeah,
and that's the joke.
No, but I mean the one where they're saying Swerve defended 3 times in 1 week, and Cody defended 1 time in 3 weeks. And I was like,
I feel like they got more fucking shows on TV, and that's why he kind of has to.
Right, and even so, I'm like, why can't you guys just be happy for all of us? Again, my point goes back to the Roman thing. It's like, yes, the buildup was unfortunately too small or whatever, but this is what people were asking for, and maybe you guys are going to realize you don't like it. Maybe Roman really was onto something with only wrestling 4 or 5 PLEs a year, because otherwise this is what you get. You get a rushed PLE with rushed intro, and sometimes it doesn't hit the way it should. Yeah.
I mean, after this backlash, I feel like they should have less matches because everyone has more time to do shit.
Yeah.
And you had brought that up, and it's like, you know what? this was good.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, back in, I don't remember which fucking SmackDown versus Raw game it was, but when you could do the GM shit, and each pay-per-view literally was for one of the shows. So like Raw would have a pay-per-view and then SmackDown would have a pay-per-view.
Right.
And you'd have like less matches on there, but it made sense versus mixing both brands together for each PLE.
Yeah.
Just to have their matches. And it's just like, nah, this is like 5-6 match thing is pretty good. Because then they still have their segments in between and everything also.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had heard about it going into Backlash from Amia, where they were saying that, because that's the other fear. The fear with it is like, hopefully they go full blown with the idea, because the idea behind doing the less matches would be giving everybody more allotted time for their match, and the worry would be that they still wouldn't do that, because back in the day they would do that, and then they would fill up the show with like hours and hours of segments and commercials, and you'd be like, what am I doing, watching vignettes and segments for hours? And then they would still keep the matches short, and you'd be like, no, why did I just watch an hour and a half of build up for a 15-minute match? It doesn't make any sense. So as long as they don't, and they didn't, everybody got their beginning promo, match, beginning promo, match. And I'm like, that's it. That's all we need. That's it. Talking about the matches on Backlash, every single one hit because of that exact thing. And everybody's talking about it. The best crowd of all time in WWE. Dude, I've been in my head. I'm sitting there like thinking I don't know what they're saying, but they're singing the AJ Styles of Phenomenal. The crowd, the idea that like sometimes WWE just say shit to say shit. And when like Triple H put out that thing saying that they got like the noise warning, that there was the noise warning going out on their fucking phones for like protect your ears because it's so fucking loud, you're making that up. Like, it's for real. No, and you can see it. That's
real.
Yeah. And you can see it. And them making the camera bounce while it's trying to zoom in on AJ's face. Dead. I can't even. And it's just like, they were the loudest for that match for sure. But every single match, dude, losing their mind. I'm trying to think of what would be my favorite match on the entire card. Probably Damian and Jay, to be honest. I thought that one was really, really good. I thought that the interference at the end with it gets way more serious. You know, Jay takes on all interference, crushes every chance of interference, still loses, but at the end, Damian grabbing Finn in the face, grabbing him by the fucking beard and telling him to cool the fuck out, and then Damian and then Finn being like, "What's the matter? What's wrong? What's your problem?" And I'm like, and then Damian acting like a dad. "You stand here. You stand here." All rise. And I'm like, dude, it's the best. But the match itself, dude, Damian trying to hit 3 spinning kicks on him, that was sick. The entire match was well done between them. You can tell they got a lot of good chemistry when they wrestle.
One thing I do find weird as fuck about the whole interference thing in matches is it's not counted as interference until the people interfering do something, but the person they're doing shit to could fuck them up.
Yeah.
And there's no problem. Like, they don't call it. And I'm just like, somebody explain that to me, please?
Yeah. It definitely seems like a last second addition to the rule where they're like, all right, outside interference is a disqualification. And they're like, well, what happens if the other guy touches him first? Oh, shit.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just keep going with it. It's fine. It's fine. Because he didn't actually, he's stopping the interference. I get the dumb explanation for the rule, but at the end of the day, I'm like, nah, I think about that too all the time. I'm like, oh, so it's okay because he hit him first? Whatever. This should be DQ. This match should be over. Yeah, I would say, so I like the Jade and Bianca match, but how do I say this without being insulting? I'm glad the Kabuki Warriors are no longer tag team champions, and they need to, because they were fucking up that match for Bianca and Jade. Jade and Bianca are two, especially Bianca. Bianca is so like exact and pristine when she's in the ring. You can tell I wouldn't put this on her without knowing her, but it seems like she's a perfectionist in there because her spots she hits are almost always super clean. So her and Jade, and I know Jade's really clean with what she does too. Her and them being in there with what I call literally the definition of botch mania, the Kabuki Warriors. I think I could see they were getting a little pissed off at times, and definitely Kairi and Asuka fucked up an entire spot at one point where they literally had to, like, Kairi was not like the one tagged in, and she still wasn't tagged in for a number of times.
Super weird.
Yeah. And then Asuka couldn't figure out where she needed to go to get tagged in properly, and the ref had to yell at them and be like, "Tag now, tag!" And then Asuka had to slap Kairi on the back, and I was like, yo. And then you could see Jade like think for a second, okay, like I need to reset now, like we have to like do that whole thing over again, but with Asuka. And I'm like, oof. And what made me upset was at first they looked good. Asuka and Kairi looked good at first, and I was like, this is a good match. Then they just completely lost. That's really what it is, and they do that all the time. I see that quite often in their matches. They just lose where they're at. They just completely forget. No more.
They need to probably all get. Well, I mean, they're on Raw now, so that gives them new people to go against. But they probably just need to take a back seat and rest, or take a back seat in NXT.
Yeah, definitely NXT. Yeah, it kind of makes me feel like there's a little realness with the whole, like, how like Bianca's really. I know she's doing it for the Bayley thing, but there might be a little realness with her being one to be so done with damage control. She's probably sick of working with them. Wants to go work with other people.
Since she came out of NXT like to SmackDown, that's all she's been dealing with. Ugh. It's just that entire group.
Yeah. Get some new talent for Bianca to go against. The street fight was actually probably one of the better street fights they've had in a while. I would even probably say probably the best one. Because of, I don't know, they just made it look so real. And Tama Tonga's, he's good in there at being a vicious type character, and them all together just made a really good, funny and fun street fight without having to put on fucking hockey jerseys or jeans or use hockey sticks or something like that. Just a classic old street fight.
Yeah.
Now, are we supposed to be hyped for the other Tonga coming in? Because I'm seeing Twitter, I'm seeing people post the shit about him, and I'm like, I don't know anything about the guy.
The two of them over New Japan are like, they were pretty much like their best tag team champions.
Okay.
Like multiple time over. And even their fucking team name was fucking crazy, because I saw GOD and I'm like, nigga, Gods of Destruction? No, fucking Gorillas of Destiny.
Oh, wow.
And they had fucking face paint and everything, and they're pretty much fucking monsters over there.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's like, hopefully fucking WWE doesn't fuck this up, because I mean, literally they have already set up them to be, they are the Bloodline, but this is gonna be like Bloodline 2.0 and way much fucking worse.
Yeah,
because they're definitely getting them tag team belts. That's gonna be like off rip with the two of them together now.
Yeah, and
then you're gonna have Solo more than likely be just a real fucking thorn in what's his name side, Cody, more than likely, because they're probably not going to just have him give up the belt. Or if they do, they're going to have it in a way where they're constantly back and forth with it, where like they're just constantly dropping it to each other almost.
Right.
Which would make it better. And then eventually have Roman back into the picture at some point, since we don't know where the fuck he's going to end up. Since he got pulled from the draft.
Yeah, I could see him fitting in with, like, because if they're gonna make him come back babyface, I could see him coming in and being like, "Who told you to do any of this shit? Who told you to do this?" And then that'd be it. That'd be period. That's all he needs. Who told you to do that? And then the story's set.
Yeah. And what was crazier is that I hope they don't try to do this angle, but when they all went past Jay before his match started, and like they just stared at each other, and then Paul came up. And like Jay's face dropped, because he could see it on his face, like, oh shit, you and some shit, ain't you, dog?
Yeah.
And I hope like Paul doesn't like come up and like, this is all your fault if you had to left. Because my immediate thought with me thinking that, I was like, no, nigga, this was all Sammy's fault.
Yeah.
If Sammy was never involved, Jay wouldn't have fucking saw Sammy get out and like, wait, I can get out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, blame that guy over there. Don't blame Jay at all. Jay told from the jump, hey, bro, you ain't supposed to be in here.
Yep.
Get out. And he wanted to stay. That's on him.
It's like Perk Gable says, Sammy brought this on himself. He did botch his spot. He did fuck up his spot on Backlash, but that's okay. By a second, he messed it up, and the ref knew. The ref took care of it. All good.
I mean, I blame the fucking towel on his head. He could barely fucking see.
Yeah, for real.
Because I was like, the more and more I see outside of things like that we don't see on like the screen we're watching.
Yeah.
Like it's really making me not want to ever go to a live event. Because I saw it from someone else's angle, like literally that was right there recording, and you see him like lift the thing up. He has a towel; it's literally over his face. Barely can see. So like him turning around, that's why it looked so crazy. And why it was late, nigga couldn't see.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather not know what's happening, bro. Because if I see that shit, it's gonna take me out of it.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, you're there live. You're not gonna react at all. A bunch of people are like, whoa. You're gonna be like, yeah, that was whack. I saw that.
Yeah. It was,
think we
what I do think is also funny as shit. Is okay, yeah, how they were like people were like, oh yeah, he was Camacho back in the day, like 2013, 2014. And I'm just like, it's so funny how racially ambiguous this fucking family is. They could be anything. You had Yokozuna. That nigga was Samoan playing a Japanese sumo wrestler.
Right.
It's like, wait, what? He wasn't Japanese?
I was gonna say only learned that this year. That's how long I thought he was Japanese. So it's like, oh.
And then you got Tonga fucking playing a Mexican, basically. It's like, bro, they can literally be anything they want. It's hilarious. You can just throw them in there and it's completely believable.
Racial master of disguise. It's hilarious. To kind of start wrapping up Backlash, 2 matches we haven't fully talked about, which would be the triple threat between Naomi, Bayley, and Tiffy time. It was Tiffy. It wasn't Tiffy time, unfortunately. But
No, it wasn't.
But an incredible match. But those 3 fucking so good, man. All 3 of them always put on. That's what you get. Like that's what you get when you have that. When you have wrestlers who always consistently put on good matches, and you put them in together, you're like, this is gonna be a banger. I call it to equivalent it to WrestleMania 22. Fucking Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, and Randy Orton. You telling me the top 3 guys who are always putting on banger matches are in a fucking triple threat together? Okay, let's see it happen. Yeah, incredible. And that's the thing with Tiffy is like this is what they need to keep doing with her. I'm a big Tiffany Stratton fan. She cannot win a title until like maybe till like after Mania 41, you know. But keep putting her in these PLEs because she's over with the crowd and she'll put on big time moments. She gets the crowd excited. She puts on good matches. She's a good worker with the rest of the wrestlers. That's all you need, dog. And eventually she'll be so over that you have to give her a title eventually. But otherwise, belly to Bayley, baby. Belly to Bayley.
Her and what's her name? Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Go away.
Bro, they both have the same syndrome. Belly to Bayley, call it a day. Manhandle slam, call it a day.
Stop. It was like, okay, cool. Not Becky, but fucking Bayley. It's like, yeah, cool. You finally won the Royal Rumble. You got the belt back.
Mm-hmm.
You got kicked out of your own faction. But now you've overstayed your welcome a little bit. Just a little bit. And I don't want to see you. You ain't doing shit. Even your match against Io Sky was kind of butt.
Yeah, it was so her match. It should have been better. And the thing with Bayley right now is that they need to try to work her into some type of I'd hate to say big time, but not even big time, just like a program that can actually last a little bit and actually have something behind it. But all they keep doing for Bayley is they keep making her like they're doing too much of like the hero that gets beat up all the time. And I'm like, dude, she's our champion. We need her to look strong. And that's the thing. It's not about these. It's the writing. What's up with the writing? With Roman, he never looked weak. He always looked like he came out on top because he had the bloodline with him, and he always just came out, did some sneak attack shit. He always was on top. But you can't keep painting your baby faces to just get beat up all the time so that way they can have a triumphant win. I'm like, we like to see the baby faces. We like to see people be people. It's like we don't like to see dummy babyface syndrome. That's an old thing that we don't like to see anymore. The babyface is like, oh geez, are they gonna jump me again? Oh, they're jumping me now. Oh no! Like when Cody leading up to WrestleMania doing the whole I'm the hunter now. Like that was dope babyface shit. That's the guy who's like, I'm not taking any more of your shit. I got Seth with me. I got people helping me out. I'm fucking you up on every single corner. It's on site. But you have these baby faces who are just like, well, I hope that we get to WrestleMania and have a good match together.
They're a bunch of Dekus.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of Dekus right now.
Oh, gee, guys. Just like, oh, God, get out of here, kid.
The Cody match versus AJ, incredible. Again, there was enough time to where like there was a point in the beginning of the match where it seemed like it was a little slow and maybe not so strong, but it built so well, and the crowd helped build it.
I went night. Sick or no sick, I went night.
Nah, it was, I thought it was incredible. Yeah, that's the thing though. It did have a slow point where like if you were watching it and you were up that early, etc., yeah, might have put you to sleep. Also, you just saw a bunch of incredible matches, but overall, the match was great. The build-up was great. The moves they did to each other were like, kicking. They built the story in the matches, what they usually are trying to do, and it worked.
Were there any Canadians?
No.
Not a good match. It ain't a Bullet Club match. Ain't no Canadian destroyers going around for absolutely no reason.
No Canadians. Yeah. They were doing some wild shit, and then AJ hit him with the burning hammer. He did the burning hammer, so that was everybody freaked out about that.
Remember. When I tell you, I was in that weird hybrid sleep. Like I could hear everything.
Yeah.
But I was not here.
It was good, man.
Physically.
It was a good match. You missed it. Rewatch it. Try not to fall asleep this time.
It's on Peacock, so I can't just literally go straight to that point and just watch the damn match.
For sure. It really is good. Like I said, I can agree that there's a point where it's slow, but it's a 30-minute match. So it definitely gets good. It gets real good. And the moments in between too with them, and AJ has this moment where like he, Michael says it, or one of them says it. He's like his body and his mind are fighting with each other right now, and he's trying to get up in the corner, and his head's all pinned up against the top, and he's trying to push himself up. It was a good sell by him. You really are like, man, this man can't get up right now. It was really good. There's some good moments, but it's almost, I don't know what it's like in New Japan, but if it's anything like that, where it's like, yeah, they were kind of bringing like that indie style that to WWE, because there was a lot of moments where it was like slow and kind of like story in the match.
It hurts sometimes, like going through my TikTok feed, because I get a whole bunch of like just old school like New Japan shit, and it's just like, damn, Vince really was fucking up, bro.
Yeah,
because if you had a fucking what was like a 10-15 year vet AJ Styles coming out of TNA and went straight into WWE, that shit would have been fire, because he was on fire. Like he didn't stop. Like usually, somebody comes to another organization, it's kind of slow for them to start and get their build up, because then the whole fan base has to be behind them and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, this was him coming out of TNA. It was like, still going. Still fucking going.
Yeah.
Did not stop moving. Like a lot of the shit, because like even like Shinsuke is just like they brought him over from fucking New Japan, threw him right into NXT.
Yeah.
And it was just like, or just put him right in the main crowd. But all right, do you, bro?
Because the main crowd is who's gonna really know them from New Japan and shit.
Yeah, and then it's even funnier, like always seeing the clip where of AJ Styles, and he came out during the Royal Rumble, and he's like, I don't know if people are gonna fucking remember me. Bro comes out, fucking everybody's fucking freaking out, man. And it's like, shut up. You're golden. Yeah. You're good. You don't have to worry about that.
First thing I said, the first clip I ever saw of him in WWE, immediately I go, is that fucking AJ Styles? Is AJ Styles in the fucking WWE? Get the fuck out of here. Every kid who watched wrestling that was like from our age group was scrolling through the channels one day, turned on TNA, and saw AJ Styles fucking laying fucking havoc in a 8-sided ring for no reason. You're like, holy shit. getting attacked by some monster named Abyss, and you're like, whoa.
That guy works for WWE.
He does,
puts
yeah.
on great matches.
Yeah, he does. Good shit. Yeah, if there's one thing that's come from this France event is that, one, they got to go to France again at some point. Two, AJ Styles is super... Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think it's France. It's just Europe in general.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
Don't get shit like this all the time from like US side. So when they get it, they appreciate the fuck out of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Versus the US crowd, they're just like,
what? I saw
quiet as shit.
I saw a tweet that was like, it was like some guy, just like a gif of some guy crying. He's like, now I got to go back to the American crowd just saying what for no reason. Like,
yep.
Yep. That's all we got. We got woos and we got what? And we got yes. We do yeah a lot now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say is that if there's one thing for sure, if they ever do go back to France, AJ is super over in France, and he has to main event every France card from now on.
All because of his fucking.
All because of his nickname. Yeah, they love him. They couldn't get enough of him. And at some point, you're just like, is Cody heel in this match? What's happening?
Pretty much.
Yeah, good shit. Well, yeah, overall, again, another great backlash. Puerto Rico the year before, incredible. Fucking, and they somehow just know how to play to the crowd. You know, they go to Puerto Rico, they do the big thing with LWO, Carlito comes back, Bad Bunny has a match. It's incredible the way they set it up and everything that was going on. And then same for France. They didn't have to do any special guests or anything like that. Nothing. Just set up a good match, and then I don't know if they knew that or not, but like completely by accident, just sold the best main event that they possibly could have, just because everybody in the crowd was like, "Phenomena!" Hey,
yeah, whatever that phenomenal chant is, they already had going for what everything is. Like that shit worked out perfect, and it's funny they fucking zoomed in on AJ's face, like when they were doing their chant, and it's just like, man, he is really good at keeping a straight face.
It really is.
It's just like, oh, he's supposed to be heel and he's getting a pop like this? I don't know, dog.
You can tell he wanted to smile, but he just like, he does the AJ thing where he goes to smile and he goes, and he like brushes it off like, man, fuck you guys, man. You're like, nice.
And that's when he should have like just kind of took a page out of CM Punk's book and just kind of smiled, shrugged, and just was like, all right,
do some
this
work.
is happening.
Yeah, the phenomenal chant and the Simplement too is just beautiful, and then chanting Simplement too afterwards, and fucking when they're chanting for the French table to get broken, they're chanting for it, and eventually it gets broken. And I like the French guys, the commentators being like, "Yeah, are you happy?" Pointing at the table like, "You happy? They did it.
This is our life."
So good, God, they made it so. I'm probably gonna put that event on in the background today. Just fuck it, just to have it on, so I can hear them chanting and singing. Well, that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys for talking wrestling with us. Please talk wrestling with us down in the comments down below. Let us know what you thought of Backlash, the week building up to, and what you think is coming in the next few weeks. Please go follow our social medias. That's down below there, and in the show notes down below if you missed that. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week on the Growing Up Kayfabe. Peace.